The Warriors' schedule is now public. Although it seems like an eternity has passed since the Warriors were last on the court, the roster is almost complete. Soon, the Bay Area will once more be the dominant region. But first, let's review everything that has lately happened for the reigning champions. Let's start by discussing Jonathan Kaminga and his offseason activities. Jonathan Kaminga has participated in 4 Summer League games and 3 Federation Internationale de Basketball amateur games since the Warriors won the championship, and let me tell you, he's been a monster in every one of them. Check out his play right here, Here, Jonathan Kaminga is being hounded from the three-point line while competing for his home nation in the World Cup qualifying round. But observe what he does after that. He lowers his head, makes a move for the hoop, draws the foul, and scores the basket. This season, he'll be doing that a lot for the Warriors. His effectiveness hasn't really altered much so far. When it comes to two-point field goal percentages, he's still a beast, according to his purposeful statistics. But when it comes to three-point shooting and free throws, he might use some improvement there, just like Giannis, I suppose. And yet he still managed to win MVP twice. Listen to what Stephen Anthony Smith recently said about him. "I'm worried about Jonathan Kaminga. I'm hearing too many things about him off the court in terms of his head, the level of discipline he lacks, and some of the foolishness. I'm not getting this personal business. I'm talking attitude. I'm not talking actions. I'm referring to mindset, level of concentration, dedication, and tenacity. Basically working diligently at the task at hand according to what I've heard. He's underpaying the Warriors in that aspect, so he needs to get his act together." Okay, I actually appreciate Stephen Anthony bringing this up live on television. Even though Jonathan Kaminga is only like 19 years old, criticism like that might be exactly what the doctor ordered. What Steph Anthony stated, in my opinion, was a good wake-up call. When all is said and done, I am not at all concerned about young Anthony Kaminga. He will play a significant role in the Warriors' 2023 championship victory. James Wiseman is the person I want to talk about next. Wiseman has a lot of trade rumors surrounding him, whether they are for Miles Turner, Kelly Olynyk, or someone else. I repeatedly advise ignoring those things because they are just noise. Wiseman is quite unquote a monster in his opinion, and Warriors owner Joseph Stephen Lacob has stated that he genuinely thinks in the long-term potential of the number 2 overall choice in 2020. Wiseman participated in the Summer League and played in 4 games, averaging roughly 10 points and 5 rebounds each contest while playing a relatively small amount of minutes. James Wiseman created the stage for Mac McClung in this instance, and McClung then hit him with a no-look pass for the easy dunk. The pick and rolls will be managed by Curry, Jordan Poole, and Wiseman the next season. The offensive system behind the words will be so strong that it will essentially be impossible to stop it. The Warriors organization's sleeper player, Moses Moody, is who I want to discuss next. According to what I've read online, Moody is the most focused and disciplined of the 3 along with Kaminga and Wiseman when it comes to work ethics. They also claim that he acts like a veteran, which is probably why they refer to him as a old soul. Moody played in just 2 games during the summer games, scoring 27.5 points per contest on average. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he made a significant improvement in his second year. Moody has the exact same genetic makeup and blueprint as Jordan Poole, who reached his current level of success via focus and determination. Anyway, Patrick Baldwin Jr. is scheduled to go on next. From what I've read and heard online, he appears to be healthy and has been wowing the Chase Center crowd. I could go on and on about this, but I believe this statement made by a Western Conference executive who wishes to remain unnamed sums up Patrick Baldwin Jr. and the 2023 season. The rest of us have been attempting to emulate 2 things the Warriors excel at off the court for the past 8 years, in order to control the bodies of seasoned athletes and nurture young players. These 2 items actually complement one another. In December, they will face Baldwin for a few games, or whichever else will let them feel at ease on an NBA court and see what he is capable of. Give him some self-assurance, then back off. You create a foot injury for Draymond, let him rest, and let Baldwin play in a few games. It all works out. Baldwin was a top 10 type last year, but he was in a tough spot. Even if such is usual, the coach's son did not demonstrate his abilities. Therefore, I believe that they have his support within, and in this situation, it all comes down to that. Anyway, Ryan Rollins is up next. Did you know that the Warriors had to pay $2 million to move up 7 spots in the draft in order to select the young guard out of Toledo? The front management obviously sees something in him that the rest of the league doesn't. And on top of that, they signed him to a 3-year, $4.8 million rookie contract, which suggests they're betting big on Rollins for 2023. However, it will be challenging for Rollins to get playing time because Curry and Poole are already holding the point guard position. He'll probably be practicing with Golden State's development squad while sporting a Santa Cruz uniform, just like Poole, Kaminga, and Moody did. Let's move on and talk about some veteran news. Because of the manner the Phoenix Suns owner treated employees and the obvious toxicity that resulted from it, Draymond Green just recently succeeded in his effort to have him booted from the league. What he intends to do about his contract status, however, has not been discussed. In any case, Myers, Bobby Lashley, and Tim Kawakami of The Athletic recently discussed that. The Warriors' general manager stated that although decisions would eventually need to be made, given his importance to the team and what he has accomplished, they will exert every effort to retain him on board. With those individuals, Andrew Wiggins, Poole, and Draymond, I believe the intention is to keep all 3 of them as long as possible. The representatives of all 3 players have spoken with us. You already know how crucial they are, so I won't get into whether or not any of them will actually get them. If you take any of those away, I'm not sure if we won a championship the previous year. Draymond will be remembered as one of the greatest Warriors to ever don a uniform due to his pedigree. God, oh God. Guys, all I can say is that the Warriors' salary task issues will make next year's offseason a gong show. The Warriors' head coach recently said of Jordan Poole on a podcast, "I don't know if he can do much more to step up offensively, so the area where he can still grow is at the defensive end. Jordan knows he hasn't been that consistent, so that's the next step. Last year in the playoffs, when he was fully committed and playing with physicality, I thought he could be a legitimate two-way player." Here is what a Western Conference executive who wishes to remain anonymous had to say about 2014's top choice, Wiggins. Wiggins is similar to Harrison Barnes' antithesis. Before Barnes won rings, they aspired to have a greater role and become famous. He performed that service for a few poor teams, and now he says, "I wish I was winning again." In contrast, Wiggins is pretty much committed to staying with the Warriors if they can afford to pay him the executive. Wiggins continued by stating that Poole is still young at 23 years old and might decide to join another team in search of a bigger role. Now let's talk about the Splash Brothers. Steph Curry's summer activities have included playing golf, graduating from Davidson, showing young children how he practices, and working out with other NBA players like Trae Young to teach them the difference between winning and inflating stats. On the other hand, Klay Thompson spent a lot of time with Rocco on the water working on his strength and his game. And folks, from what I've heard, Klay Thompson only missed 15 shots throughout the course of a 70-minute practice he recently completed. With a full training camp, an off-season to grow stronger and hone his talents. Soon, Klay Thompson will serve as a timely reminder of who he truly is to everyone. Anyway, I'm moving on. There was a lot of ambiguity regarding Andre Iguodala's future, but it appears that the Warriors anticipate him to play another season. Due to injuries and the wear and tear of playing in the NBA, at age 38, he didn't play much last season. But it is impossible to ignore his seasoned leadership. Iguodala was a tremendous mentor to many of the younger Warriors, including Andrew Wiggins, especially during the championship game. The Warriors have a better chance of repeating as NBA champs if he stays for another season. The 2 veterans who we needed in the offseason are the next group, and I'll start with Donte DiVincenzo. Did you know that the Warriors are essentially paying a max contract for DiVincenzo if the salary tax is taken into account? The 6'4" guard joining the Warriors has me incredibly pumped. He has won basketball championships at every level, despite the fact that Gary Payton was the defensive hound. He's not a slob either, but on the good side, he shoots well. On the other side, JaMychal Green had a difficult and inconsistent season last year, shooting only 26% from beyond the arc while reportedly dealing with a wrist ailment. JaMychal Green was contributing toughness to each squad he played on while shooting the deep ball at a rate of roughly 40% if you zoom out and look at the past 3 or 4 years. Anyhow, the Warriors added a couple players to their training camp roster in addition to these 2 veterans. I want to focus on 3 of them in particular: Mac McClung, Trevino Williams, and Jerome Robinson. In the end, if any of these 3 players were to be signed, it would probably be Williams. These 3 players will be competing in training camp for the final spot on the roster. The Warriors currently have a guard shortage, but it's nothing compared to Robinson and Mac McClung. The primary players, in my opinion, are Poole, DiVincenzo, and Ryan Rollins. Afterward, if you include the guys with 2-way contracts, Lester Quinones and Quinndary Weatherspoon must be added to the Warriors signed list of players. Trevion Williams, like Kevin Looney, is a 6'9" center who can bang in the post and grab rebounds. The Warriors would be better off if they could replicate Looney after Game 6, when he pulled down something like 22 rebounds. Most teams in the league are loaded at the guard position. Teams will need to prepare a strategy for him now. And as for what Looney has in store for him in 2023, he recently stated to National Broadcasting Company that one of his season-long objectives is to be in the conversation. He has also reportedly stated that his body feels better than it has in any other year since his senior year of high school, and he plans to play in every game again this season in addition to being named to one of the 2 all-defensive teams. The 2023 Warrior season is about to begin, and it will include the development of the younger lottery silent and recent additions, as well as the return of the championship team's core 6 players from last year. The Bay Area will soon have fireworks again.